So, here with Greer Moseley of Athens Academy, and you kind of had a learning disability. Can you explain what it's kind of been and what it is and all?
Yes, so I have dyslexia. It's a learning disability. It's a common thing. I think a lot of people won't. Some people share about it, some people won't.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like to talk about mine because I think it's a part of me and it always will be. But it's something that, like, when I go to read, I sometimes, like, the words will mix up, the letters will mix up, and it takes a lot longer for me to comprehend things. So it's always been a part of my life ever since about, I think, the first grade is when I got tested for it. And then I started having tutors constantly. I've always had a tutor. It's always been in and out, and then I've always met with teachers with it to get me help.
Well, that was going to be my first question. You know, when you first noticed it, you said in the first grade or whatever, who did you go to? Did you go to your parents? I mean, what kind of...
So, like, I wasn't doing as great as some of my friends in my other classes, but then my teachers were the ones that really started to notice it, and so they were the ones that informed my parents. And so I think my cousin has it as well, and so she went to a place in Atlanta, and so my mom went to Atlanta, and the girl that tested me has become one of our great family friends, and so that's who I went to. Her name's Nancy Hatcher.
Okay. How hard was it? I mean, I guess at a young age, do you really realize how difficult it is and challenging it is?
No, I didn't throughout the first few years of it, and then it kind of started hitting me. Middle school is where it really started. I wasn't in the same English class as my other friends. I went and worked with Jessica Boozer, who's now in California. She moved, but she was I go to the preschool and work with her on my English and reading comprehension.
Okay. Is it still like an issue? I mean, is it something that you find yourself having to stop maybe and you know, think about?
Yeah, I mean, it's still with me, but I work with my teachers 24/7. They are very helpful with me, and so working with them is like how I've started to get better with it, but it's still very difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is.
How how far do you feel like you've come?
It's a very significant jump from where I started. From my writing papers to this year from first grade is insane how much of a change, even though I was a first grader.
Yeah.
But I could see a change from my freshman year to my senior year, and it's impressive, and it's something that I couldn't thank my teachers enough for, because all the help that they've put into me, and so
I was gonna say, how cool is that that they're willing to give up their time?
I mean, it's our teachers are unreal for what they do for us. I couldn't thank any of my English teachers enough. I mean, without them, I don't know where I would be.
And you went to tutoring and stuff?
I did. I had a tutor in most of my subjects, and then English was, obviously the most important, and so I would go in I think it was 5th through about, it might have been all my middle school if I think about it, now that I think about it, that I went and worked with Miss Boozer, and so I never was with all my friends. I was with a few of my students, my student friends, but I wasn't in a big old classroom. I was working one-on-one, and so that helped, but it was kind of different to see.
Well, when did you realize, you were so good at sports such as basketball and soccer and all?
It's always been, I've always loved sports. It's been my thing, I feel like. And then it started kind of freshman year when I worked really hard in the summer, and then I was talking to our coach, and he was like, you have a potential to play varsity, and I was like, whoa. As a freshman, I was very surprised, but I knew that I had put in the work. Even in middle school, I was putting in work. And so I think my freshman year, I was starting to play varsity as a freshman. I started, and soccer, for that soccer too, starting for soccer, and seeing the points I scored on the court, and the goals I made in soccer, I think is when it really put me into perspective of
with as much training as you put into sports and all, how difficult was that to, you were putting in all that time studying, and then you're putting out in all that time. How was it hard to balance the two?
It was at times, but I also saw it as a time for me to be free and not worry about my schoolwork until practice is over, and so it gave me time to do what I wanted and be free as a player, and so I think it has helped me. It's made me a better time management, and so I think it's been something that I'm very grateful that.
Did the two ever overlap? I mean, was it hard to learn plays or anything like that?
Yeah,
really?
when I did club soccer and having basketball at the same time, I'd be going from basketball straight to club soccer.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, okay, now I have a lot less time of being able to work on my schoolwork. And so that's when like my time management like really started to like become in play, and like having to like learn when I need to meet with teachers, if it's in the morning, if it's during lunch, during a free period, like having to work that out was when like it kind of started.
So that's the biggest thing, is time management, I guess. You know, trying to balance everything and knowing that you have this amount of time for homework and you got this amount of time for sports and all that.
Like the weekends were very important to me. I had to plan ahead and work ahead, and so if I had to study for a test that was on Friday, I'd start over the weekend so I could get that over with, and then just progressively work a little bit over the weekend, figure out when I could meet with their teachers, when they could meet with me, and just.
Well, that's pretty impressive that you, and from a young age, you put in, because you know when you get to college, you'll have office hours with professors and stuff. So you were doing that from an early age.
Yeah, I started very young with it, and my parents have helped me. Whether it was my parents that are helping me with, like my dad was always the one to help me with my math. My mom was with my English, but working with them, working with my teachers, I mean the faculty is great, and so.
Do you work with younger kids that might have the same issues, or you know, are you willing to, I guess, help people?
I would love to. I've thought about it. Thought about being like a teacher, and so like I'd love to help the kids that have dyslexia and like tell them that it's like everything's gonna be okay with it, even though they might be hard at times. Like to look for the positive in life, and so. I think it's a neat experience for everyone to go through. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What type of feedback have teachers and tutors and everybody's given you over the years?
They tell me how great like hard worker I am, and I think that's something that has always stuck with me, whether it's sports or academics. And so meeting with them like shows them that like I'm willing to work, and maybe my grades not all the time will show it, but they know how hard I work and all the effort I put into it. So by the end of it, it's helpful, and they know that I'm working very hard for it.
This is your senior year, right?
It is.
So college application and all, you having to go through all that stuff? Or have you narrowed it down yet? Do you know where you're going?
I have not narrowed it down. I've applied to multiple schools. I've applied to smaller schools just to...
Sports and all? Or,
possibly. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. But
Cool. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And all.